This week on the anniversary episode of TechRap, Apple unveils the much anticipated Retina iPad mini and surprises the world with the iPad Air. Instagram is coming soon to Windows 8 powered smartphones. And exactly 1 year after we review its predecessor, we tell you why we think the Galaxy Note 3 is Samsung's best smartphone of 2013.
Hi, I'm Michael Josh, and this is TechRap. Today we celebrate 1 full year of delivering tech news, gadget reviews, app recommendations, and social media tips. This time last year, Apple introduced the iPad mini, a smaller version of its original tablet, the iPad. Now, while we loved a lot of things about both devices, the new form factor, size, and weight of the new iPad mini was the sweet spot of tablets, but we also loved the Retina display of the original iPad. This week, exactly 1 year later, Apple updates both devices, bringing together the best of both worlds. The original iPad gets the mini's form factor, a smaller bezel, and diamond-cut chamfered edges. It's thinner and lighter. Weighing 1 pound, Apple calls it the lightest full-size tablet in the world. Apple renames the device the iPad Air. The iPad mini, on the other hand, looks just like last year's model, but finally gets the much requested Retina display. Both devices are powered by Apple's new A7 processor and come with front-facing FaceTime HD cameras that perform better in low light. Apple also unveiled updates to its MacBook Pro line and announced availability and pricing information for the Mac Pro. The new Mac Pros with Retina displays get the newest Intel processors, a dual-core Haswell processor for the 13-inch model, and a quad-core Crystalwell processor for the 15-inch version. The new chips dramatically improve battery life. Similar to improvements we saw in Apple's latest MacBook Air refresh, the new 13-inch Retina MacBook Pro is said to run on 9 hours on a single charge, while the 15-inch manages a respectable 8 hours. The new cylindrical Mac Pro, which Apple unveiled at WWDC 2013, arrives this December and starts at $2,999 for the quad-core model. Apple is calling it the most radical Mac ever. But while the night was mostly about hardware, the announcement that should make the biggest impact is Apple giving away its new operating system for free. OS 10.9 Mavericks is now available for download via Apple's Mac App Store. Users with devices running Snow Leopard and higher can upgrade for no additional cost. On the other side of the fence, Microsoft's new baby had a lot up its sleeves at Nokia World 2013 in Abu Dhabi. Our favorites include the Lumia 2520, a 10.1-inch tablet that rivals Microsoft's Surface RT. The LTE-enabled tablet runs on Windows RT 8.1 and will be available this fall. We're also particularly excited about the Nokia Lumia 1520, which at 6.4 inches is Nokia's first phablet. We're excited because the phone is poised to be the first Windows phone to sport a full HD display. The phone also has an impressive spec sheet, including a 2.2 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor, 2 GB of RAM, a 20-megapixel PureView camera, a 3,400 mAh battery, and LTE connectivity. You hear us say it all the time. There's an app for everything. Smartphone apps play such an integral part in our lives, so much so that it affects our purchasing decisions. For struggling mobile OS Windows Phone 8, one app in particular is a deal breaker: Instagram. Despite a slew of amazing Windows phones this year, the absence of the app has stopped users from switching over. But that's about to change very soon. This week, Instagram CEO Kevin Systrom announces Instagram will be available for Windows Phone in the coming weeks. Nokia also confirms the news on their Twitter account. Systrom says their ultimate goal is to bring Instagram to everyone who wants to use it. BlackBerry Messenger for iOS and Android is finally here, and this time around, there's no taking it back. After stopping the rollout back in September, the official BBM app is now available as a free download on Google Play and the iOS App Store. If you signed up on BlackBerry's site prior to the rollout, you can start using the app immediately, but new users will need to register to get put on a queue. Don't know if things have changed, but my activation took about 24 hours to go through. The app looks and feels like BBM on BlackBerry 10 OS, but doesn't feel like a native iOS and Android app. We didn't mind the experience, but found ourselves defaulting back to our favorite multi-platform messaging apps. And while it's still good to have a way to connect with loyal BBM users, the question remains, will users use BBM too, or is it a little bit too late? YouTube announces the nominees for the 2013 YouTube Music Awards. 6 awards are up for grabs, including Video of the Year, Artist of the Year, Response of the Year, YouTube Phenomenon, YouTube Breakthrough, and Innovation of the Year. This is the first time the popular video sharing service is honoring the best videos shared on the platform. Artist Reggie Watts tells us how to vote.
You might be wondering, how do I vote? Well, you search YTMA on YouTube.
This feature is brought to you by Samsung.
The Ativ Book 9 Lite is Samsung's budget Ultrabook, a successor to the original Ultrabook, the Samsung Series 9. In the Philippines, the device comes in 2 variants, one with a touchscreen and one without. At $33,900, the touchscreen version is about $5,000 more than the non-touchscreen version, but is every penny worth the additional cost. Windows 8 was designed for touchscreen displays. If you're not getting a touchscreen notebook, you're not maximizing what's possible. The Ativ Book 9 Lite is pretty, side by side. Available in black and white, the notebook computer comes in a plastic glossy finish with sleek edges. It's every bit the designer notebook in its price point. Surprisingly though, the notebook isn't as light as it looks. In fact, the light in its name refers to a scaled down spec sheet. Well, scaled down when compared to its high-end big brother, the Ativ Book 9 Plus. That's not to say the device isn't sufficiently powered. AMD makes a custom 1.4 GHz quad-core processor for the Ativ Book 9 Lite. On board is 4 GB of memory and a 128 GB solid-state drive. Boot up time is an impressive 8 seconds. Two seconds of the device is waking up from sleep. Ports aren't generally served, but they're sufficient. One USB 3.0, one USB 2.0, micro HDMI, micro USB, mini DVI, and an SD card slot. The Ativ Book 9 Lite comes with SideSync, which allows you to control and view your Samsung smartphone from your computer. Just plug it in or connect to a Wi-Fi network, and you're good to go. If you're looking for a budget notebook for school or home, you'd be hard-pressed to find a laptop like the Ativ Book 9 Lite.
While we're in a sentimental mood, here's a bit of trivia for you. Did you know that the very first device we reviewed on the show was the Samsung Galaxy Note 2? 1 year later, TechRap was in Berlin to cover the unveiling of its successor, the Note 3. Now, several smartphones have been released since, but the Note 3 is still the, if not one of the most powerful smartphones in the market today, specs-wise. In this TechRap anniversary feature, we tell you why we think it's the best smartphone of Samsung for 2013.
Last year, we fell in love with the Samsung Galaxy Note 2, a 5.5-inch tablet techies call a phablet, a phone and a tablet in one. Despite its unconventional screen size, we love how it gave us the best of both worlds. Fast forward a year, smartphones with screens that are 5.5 inches and up are no longer a rarity. LG has the Optimus G Pro, Sony has the Xperia Z Ultra, HTC has the HTC One Max, Nokia just announced the Lumia 1520, even Apple is rumored to be working on one. Spec per spec, Samsung's 2013 phablet, the Galaxy Note 3, is the most superior smartphone in the market today. It's one of only a few handphones to run on Qualcomm's new quad-core Snapdragon 800 processor. It's also currently the only smartphone from a major manufacturer with 3 GB of RAM, and the one with the highest capacity removable battery. Come on, what's not to like about the Note 3? Spec sheet aside, there are other reasons why it's better than Samsung's flagship, the Galaxy S4. We love the phone's new faux leather back, a design decision that addressed our biggest complaint about Samsung phones, its plasticky build. The phone now feels more like a premium device. Both phones have the same 13-megapixel camera, an amazing smartphone camera that topped several TechRap smartphone camera shootouts this year. The Note 3 gets a slight edge because it can shoot 4K video. That's even better than Full HD, but of course, you'll need a device that supports it. The Note is the only Samsung smartphone that comes with the S Pen, a Wacom certified stylus. You get Note-only software like S Note for taking notes during meetings, and Air Command, which you can, among other things, use to launch frequently used apps. And while we're on the topic of software, the Note 3 is the first Samsung smartphone to come bundled with Knox, a new security solution that gives you a second, more secure environment. To borrow a phrase from Apple, one more thing. The Note 3 works with the Samsung Galaxy Gear smartwatch, a companion device that will allow you to use your phone even while it's in your pocket.
Ben Hopkins is the number I need to call. There you go, Ben Hopkins. Let's call Ben. And if you take a look over there on the Note 3, we're actually calling Ben using the dialer on this phone. So a very, very, very interesting way of using the smartwatch.
If you're in the market for a new phablet, a new smartphone even, get the Samsung Galaxy Note 3. It comes with a TechRap seal of approval. In the Philippines, the Note 3 is available contract-free for 36,990 pesos.
And that was TechRap. You know the drill, folks. Follow Rappler.com on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Google+. Have a tech question? Send me an email. It's techrap@rappler.com, and join our conversations on social media using the hashtag TechRap. If you're looking for new episodes or old episodes, just log on to rappler.com/TechRap. You can find all those episodes there. That's all for this week, folks. Cheers to another year of delivering tech news, gadget reviews, social media tips, and everything else in between. I'm Michael Josh. Thanks for dropping by.